Well, good day, folks. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I'm just out here in the shop, freezing my butt off while I wait for the heater to do its thing. You can see my breath. So for today, we're going to look at something a little different. And that's going to be an emergency radio. Now, I've had an emergency radio for a number of years. The one I had really wasn't performing the way I like anymore. The battery was only lasting about 6 hours. And in a pinch, that'll do. But we've, in recent times here, had, I think last winter, we had a power outage that lasted almost 2 weeks after a storm. So when a radio is a little bit harder to charge because you don't have power, you want one that lasts a little longer than 6 hours. So I shopped around on the old Amazon and I came up with this one here. And this is a Leaton model XSY330. SOS siren, flashlight, reading lamp, emergency multifunction, emergency radio. So why don't we flip it around to the table and have a closer look. So here is the radio out of the box. Comes with detailed instructions and specifics. So an emergency radio is a great thing to have for a variety of reasons and should have a variety of features. Now, obviously, information, the radio, this one has a weather band, AM and FM. So I can tune into my local radio station for updates on any local emergencies or local situations, any updated information from the power company on when power will return. I can tune into the weather band should we be facing an extreme weather emergency for updates on that. It can also provide a light source. It can provide charging capacity as emergency battery backup to charge your phone or other devices, your flashlights, for example. And just in a time where you're facing a dire situation, some form of emergency, a radio can just provide some comfort. Comfort in that it can provide you updated information or just music, something to listen to, particularly if you're a person who lives alone. It can be a little comforting just to hear somebody else's voice. So let's have a look on the specifics of this one. Before we do that, here's my old radio. And it's an Eaton FRX2. It was a great little radio. Solar power, light, AM, FM weather band, capacity to charge my devices, charging itself, and a hand crank. The hand crank, it's good. You can crank for a while. You'll get a few minutes of radio or a few minutes of light, and you know what? That can make all the difference. Sometimes just that few minutes is all you need. But as I say, the battery on this one was at best at full charge, give me about 6 hours. So I wanted something better. So this one's a little bit bigger. Comes in a variety of colors. Has weather band, AM, FM, tuning dial, and your off and volume. Comes with an antenna, solar charge, carry handle. Has a distance light, an area light, and then you can activate both lights at the same time. Solar panel flips up to give you a room light. Has a little button compass that seems to work well. Doesn't seem to stick too bad, seems to be free floating, and is relatively accurate. Over here, you have the buttons for your lights. And this one also has an SOS beacon. You flip up the tab. There are the buttons that activate your 2 lights and your emergency beacon. Here is a USB-C to charge the radio. And here is a USB for your device should you want to charge your phone or something like that. And it has the hand crank. So it has all of the features you could want. when you turn it on, it has here 4 lights to indicate the power level in your battery, which is a nice feature. And I ran this radio from 11 o'clock yesterday morning until about half an hour ago, so 3 o'clock today. So that's about 28 hours. It's still showing 4 lights on the charge. I also charged my phone from 70% to full, and that took about 30 minutes. It's still showing full power. So that I'm very impressed with. So for specifics, it has a 10,000 milliamp battery, crank, emergency radio, solar powered or solar charging, NOAA AM FM weather radio, USB Type-C charging, dynamo radio, polymer battery, torch and LED reading light, SOS alarm, compass for camping. So let's have a look at the lights. So there is your distance light. There is your area light. So you have the 2 lights, just a floodlight. And then you can have the 2 at one time. So your flood and your area light. I will insert here a little look at how bright they are in the darkness. So if we flip up our solar panel, we get a reading light. And that lights up a room fairly well. Okay, for a light test on the radio. It's not entirely dark in here. I've blocked out the light as best I can, but this is my garage door. Here is the little O light. That's what it casts for light. Here is the O light O clip. That is its brightest setting. Dim, medium, bright again. And here is the radio. There's its distance light. There's its flood light. There's both together. And here is the area light underneath of the solar panel. So fairly bright little lights. Okay, for this test, we're going to activate the emergency beacon. I've taken my microphone off because it tends to amplify more shrill sounds, and this is loud and shrill. So if you're averse to loud noises, here's your warning. This is going to be loud. You can either skip this part or turn your volume down. But here we go in 3, 2, 1. And that's about enough of that. But if you're stuck somewhere and you need to get people's attention, I'm pretty sure that's going to do it. Sound quality is good. Fills a room very well, has decent sound. We'll see if I can find something to listen to here without giving me a copyright strike on music.
Flew to Edmonton to surprise his granddaughter, Ella.
There's a little taste of CBC radio. That's about the only time I listen to that.
He used TikTok to... One of them...
So it has good sound and good reception. The tuning dial is firm, stiff. So I like that because you're not just rapidly skipping through channels, particularly if you're going on the AM dial. that's going to provide you, the AM dial is far more sensitive as you try and dial something in. So an adjustment, a tuner that's not real loose and smooth is probably better for that. I doubt very much I can pick up any AM in the daytime here. Yeah. We're not going to get any AM. But at nighttime, when all of the static of the day settles down, it comes in really good with AM. What else can we say? Solar charging. I mean, I've never had any device like this with a small solar panel that was really awesome at charging. They're good, and it'll charge you for a few minutes worth, same as the crank handle, I imagine. The crank handle is reasonably quiet, which is nice. On this one here, quite a bit louder. So that's pretty smooth and quiet. Is that going to give you, an awesome charge? Had the thing run down on its battery to dead, so I could try that. I could have found out, but I mean, like I said, I let the thing run for 28 hours, and it didn't even drop down a single bar, and charged my phone by a quarter, and still it was showing full charge. So I may have to let this run for a few days to kill the battery so I can find out just how good the crank and the solar works. But I would never rely on either in a pinch. You could set this out in the sun all day and you'll probably get some charge out of it. You can crank away for a while and you'll get enough on a dead battery to, get a quick listen and whatnot, or a good bit of light for something you immediately need to do. But you should always, always, always keep them fully charged. Other than that, one thing I did find when I plugged my phone into charge, if I used a short cord and my phone sat too close to the radio, then it interrupted the radio signal. So I just got static. If I moved it away from the radio, I didn't get that static. But the same thing happens with this radio. And even with this radio, if I plug in a charger bank to it, while that charger bank is sitting next to it, static on every station. It interrupts the signal. I don't know why that is. Somebody more technically proficient than I am maybe understands that. I can give it a look on the internet. Maybe I can find something out. But the radio sounds good, and the most impressive thing for me is the battery life is, from what I've seen so far, really awesome. I won't know until I let it play and see how long it takes for it to fully drain the battery, but after 28 hours and charging a phone 25% and still having full 4 bars, I mean, that's pretty hard to beat. But I will update with this as I go further. If I see any negatives, I'll certainly update this video, come up with another video. The crank handle could sit in a little bit tighter, but I'm a handy fella. I can just wrap a little bit of tape around that and then I'll nudge it even tighter. That's the only real complaint I've got with it so far. One nice feature that I don't believe this one has that would be good is if you could use just a standard battery with it. So that if you were in a pinch and you needed it and it wasn't charged, you could drop some regular batteries into it. There's some flashlights out there that are good like that. They use both rechargeable and regular batteries. So that would be one nice feature with it that I don't believe this one has. But I think it's going to come in handy. And you all know I like things that come in handy. So definitely, I think everybody should have one of these. I like this one. Shop around, watch some other YouTube videos, read some online reviews. Be careful when you read those online reviews, though. There's an awful lot of top 10 this and 10 best of that websites out there. Do your research. Find out whether that website is funded or receives money from any of the products that they rate. Just the same as a YouTube channel. Nobody sent this to me. I bought this on my own. I'm just sharing with you because that's one way I can be handy. Buy something, test it for myself. If I think it's good, let other people know. And if I think it's bad, let other people know. So that's it, folks. We'll wrap it up there. I hope you're all having an awesome day. And before I conclude this, everybody, please keep Randy from Randy's WSG in your thoughts and prayers. He's in a major health crisis right now. He's in the hospital in critical condition, and we're all hoping and praying he pulls through. So, thoughts out there for Randy. He could really use it right now. That said, y'all take care. Have an awesome day. We're coming into the weekend. I'll hope you all have a great weekend. Hang out with some people you care about, particularly in the Christmas season. And y'all take care.